In the ancient days before the light, man was lost in the shadows. The Harbinger, tyrant of Tartarus, ruled with iron claws over the realms. His abyssal legions plagued our lands, smothering hope beneath their march. But one man, King Alien Curious, united the fractured kingdoms and with his divine hand brought the heavens' light to drive back the dark. And now, thousands of years later, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance, it's up to me, Eldoran the Magnificent, and some friends, to push these demons back into the abyss from which they crawled. No one's doing a better job than me. Everybody knows it. Believe it?
Ignite, united in heaven's light. Shadows fall, we stand tall. Through the veil we hear the call. On ember guide our flame. Together we embrace the game. Aurora, Aurora.
Look, man, I'm telling you, Warrior's going to get another platform game on the new Nintendo console. It's a sure thing, Jack.
Oh, please, Joe. Wario? Another platform game? Are you serious? After all the WarioWare crap they've pumped out on the Switch? I mean, what do you need? WarioWare tax evasion next. The man's run out of gimmicks.
Oh, no. I'm talking about a real platformer. Like Shake It Back on the... Remember that? Hand-drawn masterpiece? Beautiful game. Nintendo's got to do it. I can feel it.
Beautiful, Joe? Yeah, maybe. But that was what? 15 years ago. You're living in the past, Joe. You're basically hoping for a Waluigi Smash invitation at this point.
Well, yeah. Waluigi's got to get in there eventually. I mean, the people have spoken. They want him.
You can't be serious. You actually think that? Pathetic. You think the meme has somehow convinced Sakurai to put Waluigi in Smash? That's delusional, even for you.
Hey, I've got hope. Hope is important, Don. Waluigi deserves his moment in the sun, just like Wario.
Hope isn't gonna get Waluigi into Smash. Joe, we've had, what, 5 new characters? And guess what? Not one of them is your stupid purple loser. You think because some 14-year-old on Twitter makes a meme, Sakurai's sitting there like, yeah, let's give the fans what they want?
I'm just saying that they are sleeping on my boy Waluigi. And that Shaker was the best Warrior game ever made.
Joe, seriously. 2 hot takes in a row. Wow. First point T. I can agree on that for sure. But do not try and sneak that second take in. Take your stupid pills. The only one sleeping on anything is you, sleepy Joe. Shake It is good. But Wario Land 4 is the best. Everyone knows it.
Microwave wings, Benson's recipe, pepper dash, curry blast, mixing slow with no hurry. Microwave wings.
Yo, my man is cooking.
My darling angel boy Obama has got wings.
Show's over, crowd's gone, Benson eats alone.
I swear to God, Barack has been singing that bloody song the entire car ride over. And I don't know who in their right mind would microwave wings. The absolute disgrace of it.
It's a meme from the regular show, Gord. Lighten up. You act like they actually microwave wings, which, by the way, is still better than your Waluigi fantasy, Joe.
But you shouldn't microwave wings. Never. You bake them, you grill them. Hell, I'll fry them myself. But a microwave for wings, unforgivable. Absolutely disgusting. You lot are ruining food culture.
Hey, Gordon, would you ever make any of the food from chowder?
Oh, God, not this again.
Actually, chowder was brilliant. Those dishes. Absolutely inspired. Think of the purple nurples or the thrice cream. That was always a dream of mine, to cook in a world with such creativity. If I could recreate those recipes in real life.
Hey guys, I am here, but if you don't want to play today, I understand.
Someone call Marvel copyright. Introducing Dr. Doom.
You guys didn't see the news. Dick Cheney and Jeb exclamation point, they were in a hunting accident.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, Warrior's got one more game in him, Donnie.
Wait, you didn't hear me? Dick Cheney accidentally shot Jebber in their hunting trips, all over the news.
Yeah, dude, we heard. We just don't care.
Yeah, Dick shoots people all the time. Not news.
Are you serious right now?
Look, Ben, I'm more concerned about the fact Joe thinks Waluigi's getting into Smash before Wario gets another platformer.
Priorities, Ben.
This is what I get for expecting empathy. Well, folks, there you have it. Another crazy day at the Oval Office with the gang. If you enjoyed watching, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content. And as the story unfolds, the quality of the channel is only going up from here. This is actually the first video I've made using a PC. Been working from my phone up until now, so thanks for sticking with me. First and foremost, a shout out to the GOAT, Malathrex, for helping me move entirely over to Play HT. He hooked me up with his API. So if I can learn to use his program, look forward to more regular content.
The listeners should be just happy that he is making content at all. He spends too much money not wise on you internet Otis.
Manners, Donnie, mind your manners.
Besides, it's now more important than ever for people to support his channel. If we don't support it with a few bucks a month, the process is entirely too lengthy and complicated. He might not want to cook for us anymore.
And if you want to support more content like this, consider joining the community over on Patreon at patreon.com/AuroraAI. Big shout out to the AI Presidents D community for all the love and support. And don't forget to check out some of my friends' channels, the RPG Mechanic, Ekin AI, Melchitron, Crafty GG, Brickhouse AI, Primary AI, Light Static Type, Mitaking Leo, Kevlar, Golden Swordsman, Hitbox AI, Presidential Dice Rolls, President Oceanheart. There's so much great content out there. All right, folks, before we dive into today's session, I just want to take a moment and share a little update from the editor's life. He's been working hard, really finding some peace in his work, but when he's not grinding at the desk, he's spending time with his amazing wife and get this chasing after his son, who just learned how to run. Pretty magical, right? I mean, imagine seeing your kid take off like that for the first time. It's been a fun ride for him, and I think we can all appreciate those little moments.
Little moments, Ben. I invented little moments, made them huge, tremendous moments.
Or anyway, back to the point. He's also been diving back into some retro games, you know, taking a trip down memory lane, and he's been feeling a bit discouraged lately. He started uploading on his personal channel again, a channel he's been posting to for years now. But it looks like because of all the short YouTube videos of DD music he's uploaded, the algorithm hasn't been doing him any favors.
You know, algorithms are tricky, like trying to herd cats. Like the cats are invisible, and they keep changing direction. Maybe more like rats.
Sure, Job. But as always, he loves hearing your feedback, and he'd really appreciate some advice on what to do with the channel. So if you've got ideas, hit him up.
Let's help him out, folks. He's been working hard to make things happen, and he's brought a lot of creativity to the table. If you can support us on Patreon, it would ensure that he can keep grinding out content. Otherwise, it might not be as often.
Exactly. Now, before we move on, we've got to announce the winners of last episodes. What on earth is Joe blabbing about contest? Last episode's winners are Kuzgogzexi, Current 1494, on Lastre 4037, and, believe it or not, our twice winner, Logan Hazy 107171. Hey, Joe, as usual, was remembering not our campaign, but rather Crafty GG's Tyranny of Dragons campaign.
I mean, Joe doesn't even remember what day it is.
Hey, man, I don't remember any of that.
Each of our winners gets rewarded with an inspiration point. So congratulations. Now, Joe, the viewers like this segment, so why don't you handle the recap for today?
And all right, let me see. Oh, we were in the woods for some reason. Yeah, woods, and the birds and the cats, they were going at it, man, like fighting like cats and dogs, but not more like birds and cats. And some vagabonds were up to something, you know, doing whatever vagabonds do. There was this Portuguese pup named Bo, great guy. Strong character, yeah, Don, he was a little itty-bitty lion, and I got to be a bird boy.
Joe, none of that happened. What are you even talking about?
Hey, man, wild times. We found out that Georgie was like a princey or whatever.
Laughing, okay, Joe. I think we're mixing campaigns here.
If anyone who is listening and wants an honorary inspiration point, please tell us what on earth is Joe talking about in the comments. This is exactly why I usually handle the recap. Let's move on to our actual campaign before we end up in another episode of What on Earth is Joe Blabbing About.
Yeah, and for the record, Joe, the lion thing. I could see why you might be confused. Must be my royal, powerful, and fierce demeanor.
Or maybe it's just the hair.
Oh, come on, Don. It's all a blur sometimes.
All right, guys, let's jump back in. Hope everyone's ready for what's coming.
I bet your bottom dollar, Ben.
All right, campaign time. Let's get back into it. All right, let me give you guys the actual recap, since Joe clearly took us to an alternate dimension last time. Here's where we left off in our real campaign. Last season, the party had just crossed into the outskirts of Terra Promissa. Our team was led out of the woods by Jebroth and introduced to Dick Cheney's character, Father Fizzle. Father Fizzle helped act as your guide in order to get you into the Holy City so that you could report back to the Church of Aurora, the return of abyssal demons, a hellish revelation. This was met with many sleep-related hijinks.
Fucking not my fault, I'm a light sleeper, Ben.
Anyway, you've been traveling on the road for a full day and you finally reached sight of the city. Terra Promissa, a place most of you have only heard whispers of. It's known as the Elysium of the material plane, where divine energy and moral craftsmanship come together in harmony. This city was constructed based on instructions directly from the divine, handed down to his prophets. This is no ordinary city. It's where the faith of the realm converges.
Impressed? All right, Ben, painting quite the picture here.
Of course, you see massive golden spires rising from the temple in the city center, casting a glow that gives the city a peaceful, almost heavenly aura. Every structure looks like it's been blessed by the gods themselves, meticulously crafted in marble and white stone, adorned with intricate carvings of angelic beings, symbols of virtue, and the sacred text that guides the faithful. You hear the faint echoes of hymns floating on the wind, creating a constant calming soundtrack.
Sounds like Trump Tower, but less religious.
Don't you mean more religious, Donald?
Donald, this is far beyond even your gilded, whatever that is. The streets are filled with pilgrims, priests, and soldiers of the faith, all moving with purpose but not haste. There's a tranquility in the air here, and it almost feels like you're stepping into a world where time itself slows down, where there's no rush, only peace and devotion.
Oh, it's like a Vatican on, well, something else, but you didn't use the word Vatican, right, Ben?
I mean, we're in a fantasy setting, Barak, but yeah, you're getting the idea. The Temple of the Divine sits at the highest point in the city, overlooking everything. It's the holiest of holies, the place where only the highest clerics and prophets are allowed to enter. The rest of you can only imagine what kind of power and divinity resonates inside its walls. Terra Promissa is not just a city. It's a symbol of hope, the ultimate seat of the Divine's power on the material plane.
Sounds peaceful. Like my backyard in Delaware when I'm sipping on iced tea.
Yeah, well, in this case, it's more like iced tea with a side of celestial grace, Joe. And you're here to investigate the strange happenings that have unsettled even this beacon of light and order. Something dark stirs beneath the surface, and it's your job to figure it out before it spreads.
If anyone can figure it out, it's me. I'm the best at uncovering dark secrets. Everyone knows it.
Sure, Donald. Let's just hope you don't blow something up.
Speaking of which, now that we're all caught up, we'll see just how magnificent Eldorian really is. You all ready to get back to it?
Born ready, baby.
Let's go. Eldarin the Magnificent never fails.
Well, we'll see about that. All right, everyone, let's dive in. You're standing at the entrance of the Courtyard of Light, the heart of the holy city of Terra Promissa. The sun gleams off the pristine marble pathways, lined with radiant banners displaying the symbols of the divine. Every inch of this courtyard speaks of piety and purpose. The air smells faintly of incense, mingling with the crisp scent of freshly cut grass.
Sounds like my kind of people. Very elite, very strong.
But as you go deeper past these elite priests, the Radiant Guardians, armed Aasimars in gleaming armor, who usually stand at unwavering attention, seem unusually focused. Reason their glowing eyes aren't on you. Instead, they're eyeing a group of soldiers standing near the temple steps, looking at a place. They're not as rigid, not as confident. Everyone, go ahead and make a history roll.
Let's get to rolling dice. Let's see. Got a 14.
18. Eldarin never misses.
Oh, 9. Nope, there goes nothing, man.
All right, for those of you who got over a 12, these soldiers aren't just regular guards. They're men of Duke Brightblade, the judge of Asher Peak. Asher Peak is the military city in the Empire. His hold trains most of the nation's armies. You see his insignia, a golden sword crossed over a field of blue, emblazoned on their armor. They stand strong, but they're clearly uncomfortable being here. The Radiant Guardians are watching them closely. Tension crackles in the air. Passes to those who rolled 15 or higher, you know more than just his name. Duke Brightblade isn't just a ruler. He's a hero, valiant knight who saved the realm from multiple orc invasions, earning him the title, the Hero of Man. He's widely respected, if not outright revered, for his tireless work in keeping the outlying orc tribes from breaching the Empire's borders.
This guy sounds serious.
He is. And now as you reach the entrance to the inner sanctum of the temple, you see him, Duke Brightblade, young and dashing, his cape flowing behind him, stands at the foot of a tribunal-like setup. As he did before him are the priests of the Order of the Dawn, each in their elevated chairs. And at the center, upon the grandest and most exuberant throne, sits none other than the High Pontiff.
Let me guess, he's got a big crown or something.
You know, crown Donald, but his presence is intimidating. He's a stoic man, his face a mask of cold authority. His white robes seem to glow faintly in the light of the sanctum. He's only been the High Pontiff for a few years, but already there are whispers about how unmoved, how detached he can be. His piercing gaze is fixed on the Duke, who is clearly appealing for something from the council.
So, what's the deal with the Duke? Why is he arguing with them?
Exact words are unclear, but he's pleading with the Order for aid, though it's obvious from their stony faces that they aren't easily moved. The Duke is passionate, but there's a tension in his voice, like he's holding back frustration. And beside the Pontiff stands an attendant, a nervous, stammering cleric who seems unsure of how to calm the situation. He awkwardly tries to usher the Duke away, but Brightblade stands his ground for a moment longer before giving a curt nod. He walks towards you, his boots echoing on the marble floor. As he passes, he gives you a stern nod, almost as if he's sizing you up.
Impressive. But I'd like to see him in a kitchen. Not much patience in his step.
Y'all check in with the attendant, who's still fidgeting after the Duke's departure. One by one, you try explaining what happened with Morgrun and the Abyssal sighting. This is important because, as you know, Abyssal creatures haven't been seen in the Empire in, centuries. The attendant listens wide-eyed and nervously passes the information on. And now, you wait.
Great. More waiting.
Yep, just like that time at the DMV, but hollier. The minutes tick by, and soon it's been over an hour. The tension in the room grows, and you're all getting a little restless.
Hey, they're a holy guy. I am a holy guy too. So there was this trash can fire, right? And let me tell you, a fellow pontoon should understand that, things get wild with this trash fire, but the divine knows what he is doing. He started the fire, you know?
Joe, not now.
Before you can apologize for Nade's colorful description, the chamber trembles with a thunderous voice. The High Pontiff speaks, his words booming through the halls like a god's own command.
Silence!
You're all caught off guard, maybe even a little terrified.
Okay, that's unexpected.
You will speak. When spoken to, you stand before the judgment of the divine.
Pontiff stares at you, and the minutes drag on. 1 minute becomes 5, 5 becomes 10.
Is this guy contemplating what to say? Here I will give you the words. Thank you for your help, Eldoran the Magnificent and friends.
And after 15 minutes of agonizing silence, Trump, you of course lose your patience.
Well, obviously, someone had to say something. What do I do?
You stand up, assert yourself, and try to explain what you saw with Morgrun. But before you can even finish, the Pontiff waves his hand dismissively.
You saw nothing. What happened to you is nothing. You will leave with nothing.
Oof, that's cold.
The Radiant Guardians, at the Pontiff's command, begin moving in, and the attendant nervously tells you that they need to take all the evidence you have on Morgrun. Everything. However, Obama, you see a moment of opportunity. I roll a stealth check.
Let's get rolling, come on. Natural 20.
You expertly conceal the sealed scroll within your robes, and none of the Guardians are the wiser. You leave the chamber, your heart's heavy, feeling dismissed and defeated. But just as you step out into the hallway, you see Duke Brightblade waiting for you. It's like a homecoming. You've just been shut down, but now you're face to face with a hero.
The architecture of my ancestors who built these halls is great, but they carry more than stone. They carry words, hallowed hollows and hollowed echoes. I heard everything, gentlemen.
You realize that even though the Pontiff denied you, Duke Brightblade is someone who believes in you. And perhaps with his help, you can still uncover the truth of what's really happening in the realm.
Looks like we've got an ally after all.
Finally, someone with some common sense. Brightblade, you're my guy.
In a low, solemn tone, you all stand before Duke Brightblade, who takes a moment to gather his thoughts, looking each of you over with the weight of a leader who has witnessed more than his fair share of battles around him. The hushed murmurs of Mirabay Radiant Guardians remind you that this is a place of grave importance. Brightblade speaks, and his voice is as steady as the mountains from which he hails.
The wind, my friends, it has changed. In every clash against the Orcish tribes, I sense a darkness. It's more than their usual savagery, something fouler, evil beyond the sword or claw. He narrows his gaze, his voice dropping. The orcs have become bold, reckless, even as if something much darker spurs them forward.
Pressing his cloak with a smug grin, Eldoran say, sounds like they met their match in me. But please, Duke, continue. I'm all ears.
With a serious look, a change in the wind. This doesn't sound good.
Crosses his arms, muttering more monsters for me to handle. Just another Tuesday.
I'm afraid that what we're fighting isn't just flesh and bone, but something far darker. Something I suspect you've encountered yourself. Tell me you have seen signs of this. Abyssal presence.
Pauses for a beat, watching you all as he continues his narration. Everyone roll a history check for me.
Squinting down at his roll, that's a 7 for me. Could have done worse, I guess.
17 here?
Oh yeah, baby, that is what I'm talking about. I am the resident president historian. A 17. Clearly, I know my history.
Also a 17. I guess I'm a historian too. Let's not leave the chef out of the spotlight.
With a nod to those with higher rolls, all right? For those of you who rolled a 15 or higher, you recognize the Duke's significance. Known as the Hero of Man, Duke Brightblade is a living legend. He personally fights in the front lines, pushing back countless attacks and ensuring the kingdom's safety.
A bit of admiration in his tone now. That's what I call leadership.
His tone grows solemn, and you remember more a tragedy. Just a few years ago, the Duke's family suffered a devastating loss at the hands of those orcs, his wife, eldest son, and daughter, all killed during one of their invasions. Eddie was national news, a brutal reminder of the price he's paid.
He straightens up, his gaze unwavering but softened. I've paid dearly to protect Aurora, as have my men. But now, something worse looms over us. And despite his wisdom, the High Pontiff denies it. He refuses to recognize these abyssal forces, refuses even to acknowledge the return of Tartarus. I am stretched thin, fighting on every side, yet Aurora's greatest threat may be the one we don't see.
Nod slowly. If there's an evil out there, we'll find it. Even if it's buried under the High Pontiff's nose.
You've shown bravery and skill, and it doesn't go unnoticed. There's trouble in the Vale, our farming lands, where the judge of Cedar Vale, Mayor Thorne, has reported strange happenings. I wish I could investigate myself, but I am needed on the front. Cedar Valley, the breadbasket and capital of the Vale, has reported foot shortages. This is too close to the St. Aurelius festival. I just do not believe it is a coincidence. Please let me know what you find.
Rest assured, Duke, you've chosen well. Eldoring Glamourweave, the magnificent author of Art of the Weave and Slayer of the Abyssal Morgrun, his musical accompaniment, and his other friends will return.
Homie, I am from the Vale. Didn't expect to go home for the holidays so soon, but if it's for the good of the bloody kingdom, looks like I don't quite have a choice.
You have no shortage of confidence. It's for sure, friends. Refreshing. But mark my words, the Vale may be a place of simple folk, yet something insidious is at work. If we can stop it before it reaches the cities, we have a chance.
Odds as I is serious we're in, Duke. This evil won't stand a chance.
Thank you. From the depths of my heart, thank you. I have no doubt that you will honor Aurora with your bravery. One last thing, here is a sending stone. You can use it to either send me one message a day and receive one as well. Your soul, Sir Pepper. Allow me to introduce you to the Shake brothers. They are two of my finest men, and I trust them. Please take the other carriage and make sure our new friends get to the Vale in one piece.
Clears his throat, setting the scene as the Duke straightens up, his presence a mixture of gratitude and determination. With a final nod to all of you, Brightblade and his men turn to leave, their boots echoing on the stone as they march back down the corridor. Okay, how do I describe the duo? You see your escorts approaching. Well, a curious pair of Asher Peak Knights who look about as far from identical as two brothers could possibly be. One soul towers over his companion, holding a lance like a walking stick, and wears an expression of vague confusion. The shorter one, Pepper, trudges forward, his grip tight on his axe, eyes darting around as if he's ready to fight anything that so much as moves. They stop before you, and the tall one speaks first.
Greetings and surely sure welcomes, noble heroes. I am Salt, unfortunately unfortunate in finesse, but ever so eager to assist. Holds his lance proudly, almost jabbing Pepper in the process.
We'll watch where you're shaking that thing. Ya twig, I'm Pepper, and I'm here to keep us all from being idiotically idiotic.
A fine pair of soldiers, I see. That was sarcasm, by the way. Are we sure we're not better off without the backup?
Well, come on, Sir Eldoran. They seem like a sturdy pair in their own way.
Yes, indeed. We are most happy to escort you to the Vale. 'Tis a place where things happen. Surely they do. Isn't that right, brother?
Yeah, sure. And don't ya dare shake anything up while we're out there, all right?
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page there. I don't shake unless I'm whisking.
Yes, whisk away. Friend chef, perhaps the Vale shall teach us all a thing or two or three.
I swear, if you forget that trap again, I'm gonna shake you so hard, you'll be singing with the wind. He grumbles and looks back to the party right. So we're taking you lot to the Vale, whether you like it or not. Just don't expect miracles.
Big looks between the brothers, nodding with exaggerated seriousness. Good, good. Two fine soldiers. I can't see a single thing going wrong with this arrangement.
And they both nod, as if Nie has just said the most profound thing in the world.
Yes, surely, nothing unfortunate could possibly go awry.
And so, with Salt and Pepper leading the way, the journey to the Vale begins. As the sun dips behind the mountains, the mismatched brothers march onward, bickering and stumbling all the while. Despite their quirks, the two seem committed to protecting the party, even if that means causing a little chaos along the way.
Eldarin smirking, watching Salt and Pepper from inside the carriage. Well, I've seen my fair share of knights, but this must be a new breed. A couple of court jesters trying to play soldier, am I right?
Umbren raises an eyebrow, attempting to deflect with a friendly tone. They're just keeping things lively, Sir Eldorin. A little humor on the road. Speaking of which, turns to Salt and Pepper. What's the Duke really like?
Oh, the Duke is as fine a man as mountains are mighty. He's a hero, a truly true hero of man. Stands tall with his people.
Also straightens a warm admiration in his voice.
Nods. The usual gruffness in his voice softened eye. He ain't afraid to fight with his own two hands. He's done more for us than half of the kingdom knows.
Huh? Eldorin chuckling, nudging his bard. See Barnabas, a fellow cut from the same cloth. A man of valor, a man of action. It's a lot like looking into a mirror, really.
Barnabas grins big, tuning his lute. Indeed, my lord, why the songs they must sing of you both. Each one braver than the last.
He's noticing Gordon's somber expression. He leans in. Hey, Chef Tinkleton, didn't you say you're from the Vale? What's it like?
A faint smile crosses his face, and he seems to relax as he speaks. Oh, the Vale was green and lush, with hills and orchards as far as the eye can see. Fields stretch out like patchwork, and every farmhouse has got a porch where folks sit after a long day's work. Old oak trees, wagons creaking along dirt paths, and rivers with bridges that have stood 100 years.
Filings, he describes the Vale sounds like a place pulled from a storybook. Fields rich and golden in the afternoon light, cottages nestled among the trees, and gentle folk going about their lives.
Tinkleton nods, a touch of wistfulness in his voice. Yes, good folks, hard work, and peace. Though I can't say I was ever meant to stay there long. Maybe some folks, but not for me.
Nods approvingly. Sounds like a proper slice of paradise, I'd say.
Barnabas the Beard begins, strumming his lute, launching into a gentle tune. The Vale Isle of Peace and Harvest, where lives are calm and rivers run true, sings a lively Valian folk tune, filling the carriage with a warmth that lifts everyone's spirits.
Nods in time with the music, his grin widening. Surely sure, been a dream to see that place since I was but a tot.
Grumbling, but smiling a little himself. Maybe a break from chopping up greenskins wouldn't be so bad.
As you approach the farming territories known as the Vale, you notice how the land rolls gently here, dotted with small houses and fenced pastures. It's the kind of place that feels like a breath of fresh air. Barnabas plucking away on his lute and keeps the mood light as he plays an old Valian tune. During the journey, you all take some time to chat and share stories, getting to know each other a little better. Adding with intensity, a massive, hulking figure crashes through the underbrush. The creature stands at nearly 10 feet tall with bony, sunken skin stretched tight over bulging muscles. It looks unnaturally thin, its limbs gnarled and jagged. Wild, crazed eyes dart between each of you, and drool drips from its cracked lips. The monster and a horse, broken voice hungry, so hungry, me, take food. A heavy rustling erupts from the nearby trees. This creature has a kind of desperate fury in its eyes as it leans forward, claws scraping the earth. Everyone roll for initiative.
I got a 12.
I've got a 14.
A 17 on my end.
10, sadly.
Rolling for Salt and Pepper, our brave knights here. Got an 8 each, so they'll go after Chef Tinkleton. And our gnarly friend here rolled a 15. Looks like it'll be Umbren first, then Negate the creature, Eldarin, Chef Tinkleton, and then Salt and Pepper bringing up the rear. Let's do this. All right, Umbren, you're up. The creature snarls, baring its yellowed teeth. It's focused on the group, but you're just out of its reach. Oh yeah, that's a hit. Roll for damage.
Calm and calculating. All right, I'm going to keep my distance and make use of my short bow, aiming for its exposed side. Let's see if I can get this thing's attention. Rolls to hit 21 to hit. Rolls, that's 9 points of piercing damage, plus 8 from sneak attack.
Adding the impact, your arrow flies true, embedding itself in the creature's exposed rib cage. It lets out a snarling roar, clearly enraged but still standing strong. Neg, you're up.
You determine, all right. I cast Flaming Sphere. I summon a blazing ball of fire right next to this guy. Rolls damage for the sphere. That's 8 fire damage if he fails his dexterity save.
Rolling, let's see, he fails his save. The spear sears into his side, scorching him badly. He snarls and glares at you, Neg. And now it's the creature's turn. The creature, now furious and famished, lumbers forward and swings its heavy arm straight at Neg. Rolling for the creature's attack, it's a 19 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Let's roll some damage. All right, Neg, you take 13 bludgeoning damage as his gnarled fist smashes into you. You feel the air whoosh out of your lungs. Eldoran, your turn. This beast is now fully engaged in the fight, staring right at you with a crazed hunger.
Confidently timed to show this beast a little magic. I raise my wand and cast Chaos Bolt. Rolling to hit a solid 18 to hit.
That hits. Roll for the type of damage.
Forward for the wild magic table with a gleam in his eye, and let's see what the Chaos Bolt does. 54. Ah, yes. Just as planned.
All right, let's consult the wild magic table. Well, Eldrin, suddenly all the plants in a 20-foot radius around you bloom into bright pink and purple flowers.
Flowers to distract the beast. Now let's see if it works.
Enough messing around, raging. Then I'm charging up close and swinging at this hungry brute. Natural 20. Chef's got his cleaver arm ready.
All right, raging it is. Roll your attack. Critical hit. Double that damage.
Okay, let me roll. 24 damage, plus the rage. 26 total.
As Ribes impact, your axe cleaves into its shoulder, ripping through flesh and bone. It lets out a scream of pain, staggering backward, but somehow it's still on its feet, barely hanging on. All right, next up is Salt and Pepper.
Cautiously, surely sure, a swift jab should handle this, yes. He charges, but misses his attack, fumbling his lance slightly.
Angry and embarrassed, they stop messing around. Salt swings his axe, managing a solid hit.
Let's see how they roll. With a deep gash from Pepper's axe, the creature stumbles once more, dropping to its knees and giving a final pained growl. Announcing the end of combat, congratulations. After a brutal fight, you're all worse for wear but alive.
Dusting himself off, glancing at the wildflowers well. That's what happens when you travel with Eldor, and victory and a bit of charm along the way.
We all stand around the defeated creature's gnarled and emaciated body, lying twisted on the ground. Its frame, though massive, was frail and almost skeletal, as if it hadn't eaten in weeks.
At the beast, maybe it was cursed. Look at those eyes. That hunger.
Or perhaps it was an unfortunate product of magical corruption. I've heard of beasts warped by magic, twisted beyond recognition.
Just plain sick. Poor thing probably lost its mind from starving. Reminds me of the wolves up north during a tough winter.
A bit suspicious. I don't know what it was, but let's hope we don't run into more like it. Vale beasts used to be friendly. There used to be food.
As you travel deeper into the Val, the land opens up in stunning vistas with green pastures stretching out as far as the eye can see. Herds of livestock graze on lush fields, and farmers go about their daily routines waving as you pass. The air is scented with hay, fresh earth, and blooming wildflowers. Finally, you see Cedar Vale skyline on the horizon, known as the heart of the Vales. The city is dressed in vibrant colors as banners, flowers, and ribbons decorate every street and rooftop in preparation for the annual St. Release Festival. Bright stalls and wagons line the roads leading to the city gates, offering trinkets, food, and crafts for the festivities. Large stone walls now rise around Cedar Vale, looming and sturdy, encircling the city like a protective embrace.
Eldarin, perking up with sudden enthusiasm. Did you say walls? Now that's what I call a great addition.
Looking surprised, wait a minute, walls. Those weren't there last time I passed through.
We'll pause our journey here for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Ren, phenomenal job as always. I love the chaos magic. Those wildflowers were exactly what I intended.
Really enjoyed that. The pacing was perfect. Great storytelling tonight.
Man, that was intense. Never faced anything quite like that, whatever it was. Loved it.
Absolutely loved it. The fight, the food, the suspicious walls. Brilliant work.
Thanks, everyone, and thank you for listening. Remember, if you enjoyed the show, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with friends. Support from listeners like you keeps us going. And by the way, we're thrilled to announce that our friends over at Malathrex have returned from their hiatus and are uploading regularly again. He recently took the time to teach me about APIs, so I could not have done this video without him. Be sure to check them out for even more indeed adventuring.
Yes, thank you, Malathrex. As always, listeners, have a blessed day. Support the ever-changing world, or AI, Presidents D&D by listening to our buddy channels, and like, comment, share, and subscribe.